A year ago, I was in a very destructive marriage, and I was trying to fight very hard to get out of it. Um, I'd already discovered Bob for a good, I'd say 9 months or so before that, and he, had been studying his teachings and things, and he was probably one of the influencing factors that finally gave me the push to try and get out.
Yeah.
And then I met you, Shimrit, online, and basically where I was when I met you, I was still trapped in a house with this man, and I was having to fight very hard. I was having to sleep on my living room floor, and was basically trapped in one room in my house. It was very difficult. But then I met Shimrit, and although I had a basic understanding of what Bob taught, working with you helped me sort of cement that and really help me, well, begin to shift my paradigm of that I couldn't do what I wanted to do, and gave me that final strength to really fight harder. And I won my battle eventually. He was forced to leave. The court made him leave. And yeah, I started to sort of take the steps to build my life again. And as a result, what I've managed to do now is I've started up my own coaching business. I now help women who have overcome difficult relationships, but are still struggling with their self-esteem, and things like that. And I help them, find their path onto a happier a place, if you know what I mean. And I can honestly say it's the most, from where I've come from and now helping women get there, it's the most rewarding thing I could ever do in my life. And I sent you that video when I think I'd signed 3 clients in a matter of 48 hours or something, and it was just, for me, that was the most incredible moment ever. And to give everyone here a concept of the video, I was literally dancing in the living room where I'd slept on the floor for all those months, as in, I've done it, Shimmery, I've done it. So yeah, it was a magic moment. So yeah, understanding how my mind works is understanding that I do have control over my thinking. And I suppose it's always going to be a work in progress, but it's more mastering that subjective control. And it's about being able to understand that actually when those doubts and those fears, it is a fear, it's just a fear, are creeping in, I know that I have control over that. I can tell it to go away, because that's not what I want. What I want is, to help these women and to build my business. And so that's what I just need to focus on. And I'm back, I'm better. And in another way, like my new job that I've got, my new day job, it's challenging. I work with challenging people. Whereas before, again, the old me would have buckled under that. But now I have no fear of standing my ground, knowing that actually I'm correct in what I'm saying, and I don't allow other outside influences or other people's opinions or whatever, because they are opinions that I'm battling. It's not fact. And I don't let that outside influence impact my thinking anymore. This sounds a bit grand and I don't want to blow my own trumpet too much, but I've only been there 3 months and literally I've turned their business round. I would never have done that as the old me. I would have just buckled under the pressure and run away in the other direction. So yeah, and my other relationship, like my daughter, like, yeah, we I mean, she's nearly 15, and that brings all the nightmares for a mother that a teenage daughter brings. But, I can now talk to her in a much more constructive way. We are much more on, an equal footing when it comes to communication. We have a much more, open dialogue going on, which is a lot better when you're trying to manage teenage angst and all of that. And also, my other relationships, they're a lot more, it's just when I'm able to communicate a lot better, and I don't know, it's just, it's all so much better. I remember it pretty vividly, actually, because I was obviously studying Bob, and I knew I had that already kind of instilled in, like, I knew Bob's teachings. I knew that, you had to focus on what you wanted and have the faith. It was almost, to me, like Bob had sent me a sign to say, I'm here now. You're going to work with one of my consultants, and you're going to, this is me. It was almost like you came to me as Bob saying, here's your opportunity. I'm showing you the path. Now you've got to have the faith to trust. I remember being on the call with you, and the fear was huge, obviously. Of course it was. And I knew I was taking a risk because I had to take out a loan to do it. But I knew that that's what I wanted. I knew that, that's the path I wanted to take. And I knew from Bob's teachings that I had to trust in the process and, take that leap. And one of the Bob's sayings, which I use with my clients all the time, is that you just have to jump and take that leap, and you'll develop the wings as you go. And I love that so much because I've literally lived it now, because I did take that leap and I did take that jump, and it was really, really scary. But I know that unless you're brave enough to do that, you're never actually going to get what you want.